Hello everyone, this is Embrosewyn Toscabel. I'm sitting here in September of 2019 to introduce the video you're about to see, which was filmed in the summer of 1996. Now this is a video of Philos giving a public channeling. Philos is the higher energy being that I channeled back in 1996, still channeled today but not publicly. He gave a series of talks in 1996 to the general public that were attended, as I introduced in an earlier video about how that all came about. This particular video today is about the root keys. Now, many people are familiar with the chakra system in Celestine Vibronics, which is Philos' specialty. We use the root keys, which are similar to the energy centers of the chakras, but do have some major and important differences. So this talk that Philos gave today, in 1996, is an introduction to the root keys. Enjoy. Namaste.
Philos, yeah.
Philos.
Greetings. And now with all the masters in this room tonight. Has everyone been doing the master exercise?
Yes.
I have another one to add to that for you. Very easy one. When you get up in the morning and you first step out of bed, you land your feet first land on the floor. First thing, slap your hands together and say, "This is a great day." Start your day like that. And even if you do nothing else, as far as affirmations during the day, that's a very powerful one. Well, today at night I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the root keys. Those of you who have taken the Celestine Vibronics classes are familiar somewhat with the root keys, and you understand that they're somewhat synonymous with what has been called the chakras by many other groups from that eastern line. The root keys are basically the same as the chakras, but they're not exactly the same as the chakras. They're meant to represent the same thing as the chakras are, as the root keys, but the root keys, we have a greater understanding when we deal with them in that vein. And so you'll understand that as we go along. We'll start with the first one up here, not down here, but up here. The first one is the Z key, and the Z key is responsible for all of your functions of your higher self and your psychic abilities and things like that. Then we go to your Ka key, which is your mental processes mainly. There are other things that are associated with your Ka key, and any of the physical functions that fall inside the realms of these areas, such as your pituitary and pineal glands, are also affected in the Ka key. But this is mainly your mental processes. Now, your Ka key is the oldest key that you have. When you very first gained sentience as an intelligent being, way long ago, billions of years ago, that was your very first and only key at that time, was your Ka key. We'll get more into it in a moment. The next one you have is your Ko key. Your Ko key is for your self-confidence, your self-expression, your self-esteem, this type of thing. And the next you have is your Ja key. Now your Ja key rules your emotional center. It is the second oldest key after the Ka. So the Ka and the Ja have been working together for a long, long time. It is the tendency of people to separate these two, particularly when they're trying to make decisions in their life. They'll try to make their decisions either with their Ka key and disregard the emotions and feelings of their Ja, or they'll do the opposite of that, and they'll cut off the Ka and they'll deal only with emotional states, only how they feel about something to make their decisions, and they'll disregard totally whatever their mind tells them. And the correct way to make decisions, as we've spoken before, is to word your question when you're trying to make a decision in your life, whether it's about your relationships or your career or a move or anything like that that you're trying to do, is to ask yourself the question, is this the contemplated decision the best thing for me, for the progression and expansion of my sphere of enlightenment? You're asking your higher self that. So you're asking your higher self, is this contemplated move to Arizona? Is this contemplated continuation of this relationship I'm in? Is this contemplated career move, whatever it is this the best thing at this time for the expansion of my sphere of enlightenment, progression and growth? And if the answer is correct and you've obtained all the facts in the matter, then your kaki and your jaki will both say yes together. And if the answer is no, they'll disagree or they'll both say no. So it's a very easy way to determine which path you should take if you listen to both of them.
Okay, I want to interject just a little bit here to explain a little bit more about the Zik center that you're going to hear Philos referring to multiple times in the next several minutes as he speaks about the energy centers of the body. Now, the Zik is the center for primal fears and for past lives. And there's two things I need to talk about in the relation to that. First of all, what we found as we were using the Zik is it went, and as we toned that sound, Zik, it went very quick, very deep into that energy center. And because that particular energy center, unlike the heart or the mind that are nice, wonderful places, the Zik, because it contains primal fears and past lives, which can oftentimes have not been pleasant, sometimes they were, but sometimes they weren't. So going very deep, very quickly can be a little bit scary and sometimes even traumatic. And so what we later learned, but we were later informed, that we could also use the tone Zay, which would go into the same center, but in a more gentle and slower way that would have, so there would be no trauma or scariness involved. And so today we use Zay more than we use Zik, but you can use either Zay or Zik if you're going into that energy center. Depends on how quick you want to go and how deep you want to go, how quickly. One of the aspects of the Zay or Zik energy center is that it also contains past lives. Now there is a misconception about past lives that you really need to be aware of. Many people, if you think about it, who believe in reincarnation, have thought, yes, in my past life I was Cleopatra, I was Napoleon Bonaparte, I was George Washington, I was Madame Curie. But the thing is that how many people think that? How many people think they were Cleopatra in a past life? I'm sure it's in the thousands, if not tens of thousands. But everybody couldn't have been Cleopatra, could they? Well, the way the past lives actually work, and it's important that you have this understanding when you're dealing with the Zay-Zik energy center, is that most people actually only have one lifetime. The purpose of a physical life is to gain the experiences of a physical life, to have the opportunity to make choices and decisions based upon your physical life. To be able to be a child, a teenager, a young adult, a middle-aged adult, an older adult, the chance to get married. Maybe you didn't get married, that's the choice you made, but you were old enough that you could make that choice for yourself. And so that's the point. The point isn't that everybody gets married and has that experience. The point is that everybody has the opportunity to make the choice to get married. Everybody has the opportunity to make the choice whether to go to college or not to go to college, or any other number of choices that they make in a physical body. So if for some reason someone did not have the opportunity to make those choices, then they have the opportunity to come back in another life and have the chance to do it again. But for most people, if they've lived a full life, one life's all they're going to have. However, there are many experiences that other people had, like Cleopatra, or Napoleon Bonaparte, or the peasant in Hungary. There are many experiences that other people had that can help you in your life if you understand those experiences. So what happens is we have the ability to tap into the memories of other people's lives, like Cleopatra or Napoleon or the peasant in Hungary. And because we have that ability, when we use the Zay-Zik, and we do, especially if you do past life regressions, you can have vivid memories that seem like they're your past life memories, and what they actually were the past life memories of someone else that you purposely adopted and took into yourself because you felt that they would be beneficial to you. And so that distinction is important, because if you're working in Celestine Vibronics and you can do past life regressions, it really doesn't matter if it's your real past life or the past life of someone else who had experiences that are going to be beneficial for you right now in this life.
Now the next key that you have is your Zik key. Your Zik key is a little different, and that it involves two very different areas. One thing in your Zik key that is it connects to all of your past lives. Now you've had many, many past lives, and some of them you don't need to be connected to now. Others are very important to you in this life, that you're connected to them. And so, as you do, for instance, a body scan, and you look and you'll see all these cords coming out of the zip key, for the average person, there'll be anywhere between 5 and 50 cords that are going to past lives that are, in the most case, beneficial for that person right now. Sometimes they're not. And sometimes the ones that are supposed to be beneficial aren't being beneficial because they don't have an in-sync and an in-harmony wave, and we'll get to that in a moment too. Now the other part of the zip key are your primal instincts. They're not related to your past lives. You have many primal instincts. Of course, the ones that come easily to mind are things like self-preservation as a primal instinct, or your urge to reproduce as a primal instinct. But there are other primal instincts. You can take any one of the emotions that you feel, such as happiness, or jealousy, or anger, or any other emotion that you feel, and if they're just at their normal level, they reside in your jaw key. But if they're at a very intense level, for instance, where anger turns to rage, or jealousy turns to insane jealousy, then they're residing in your zip key, as well as your jaw key. The next thing that you have is your whiz key. Now, your whiz key is the energy center that controls or relates to all the physical functions of your body. It does not matter whether it's a little vein down in your foot, or one of the organs in your body, or any number of things that can be good or bad with your health. These are related to the whiz key energy center. And if there's a problem somewhere in the body, physically, it's connected to that whiz key. Now, it may also be connected to other keys, and we'll get to that in a moment. And the last key is your Vim center, which deals with your sexuality and your reproductive abilities. And there's 2 energy centers in the Vim, so we call it Vim 1 and Vim 2. Now, these energy centers, I'm going to stand up now so that you can see this a little better. The energy in your body flows. You control the energy in your body. You can change the flow however you wish. But if you're not consciously making it flow one way or the other, then the energy flows in through this right side, goes down your body, down the right half. Just imagine a meridian down the middle of your body. Goes down the right side, and flows through here. Goes out the right foot, comes around underneath, comes back up through the left foot, up through the left leg, and comes out this way, and exits this way. Now you have 3 alpha omega gateways that are related to your energy centers. You have one on each side, top of the head, each of your palms, and each of your feet. This is how the energy flows through and out these alpha omega centers. Now, why is this important to know? Because the energy centers that are in your body respond to this flow, so that as the energy is flowing down this way, up this way, it naturally creates a counterclockwise rotation because there's a pressure going down here, pressure going up here. So it creates a natural counterclockwise rotation. However, because your energy centers can't just be spinning in one direction, that would be not good for you. So they need to spin omnidirectionally. So there is a slight, but it is only a slight, counterclockwise rotation to the energy center. So imagine a ball. Say I have a ball in my hand here, and there's a slight tendency for this ball to rotate to the counterclockwise direction. But for the most part, it's spinning omnidirectionally. It's going all these different directions so that you charge up. But in that all the different directions, it ever so slightly continues to rotate to the counterclockwise because of the energy flow in the body. Now, when you're working with Celestine Vibronics and you want to charge up someone's energy centers, you can start with any one of them. But it's important that if you're changing the direction of the flow, which you can do simply by controlling that with your own right hand, particularly if you're using a quartz crystal wand to focus the energy, and you can take a quartz crystal wand and you can spin those energy centers faster. You can go round and round very fast. You can go slowly. You can change the direction so they're going clockwise. You can change the direction so they're going forward, to the right, or to the left. Remember, it's a 3-dimensional object. But whatever you do, you make sure that at the end that you change it back so that it's going counterclockwise. You don't want to work on someone and leave them in a different state than they're supposed to be when you're finished. So that's a very important thing to remember when you're working on other people. Whether you're doing that in person or in proxy, It's the same technique.
Okay, I just want to do another little interjection here. Philos is getting ready to talk about the spin direction of the root keys, both when you're spinning them yourself and if you're working with somebody that you're trying to help, if perhaps their energy center is spinning too slow or too fast or any number of too small. These are all things you can work with Celestine Vibronics, but there's a couple things you need to understand that Philos, back in 1996 when he was first introducing this, didn't really explain that are important. Number one is that the way your energy centers spin, the way you perceive them spinning, what you perceive as being clockwise or counterclockwise or right or left, it seems to be quite different for different people. Just like some people are right-handed and some people are left-handed predominantly. And occasionally you find someone who's ambidextrous. And it's the same with the energy centers. So, for instance, if I said spin your energy center of your heart to the right, some people would think, okay, I'm going to start my right hand, I'm going to start spinning it that direction, and if they're seeing a sphere, it's going to be spinning like that, starting at the right and moving around. Other people, if you say spin to the right, they see it just the opposite of that. They think they see it starting from here, and the ball is now spinning around towards the right. And the thing is, both people are right if they're working just with themselves. It really doesn't matter what your perception is. If for you spinning to the right starts here, that's fine. If for you spinning to the right starts here, that's fine if you're just working with yourself. And it's the same for clockwise and counterclockwise. What you perceive as clockwise might be like this if you see the clock that you're facing you, but if you see the clock on you, then maybe clockwise is like this. And again, if you're just working with yourself, it doesn't matter. The point of the exercise is to move your energy centers omnidirectionally, right, left, clockwise, counterclockwise, backwards and forward, and your perception of which direction is which is irrelevant, just as long as it's moving in all those different directions as you're exercising it, as well as expanding in and out. That's another important part. However, there is a part that is important, and that is if you're working in a group of people who are working in harmony together, and in that case, everybody has to have exactly the same perception. So for instance, if you have 5 people holding hands in a circle together, and they say, okay, let's join our heart energy center, our jaw key, let's join them all together and spin them in harmony together. Well, in order for that to be in harmony, everybody has to be spinning the same direction. So in that case, you need to be very clear, and you could say, all right, we're going to spin our heart centers in harmony together. So start by spinning it towards the person on your right. So everybody's spinning it towards the person on the right. So now all heart centers are going to be spinning the same direction. So that's when it becomes important that everybody's on the same page as what perception of direction you're referring to. And the other one is if you're working with someone that you're trying to help in Celestine Vibronics, and you're working with their energy centers, you need to understand that just like some people are right-handed, predominantly, the majority of the population is right-handed, but there is a significant portion of the population that's left-handed. It's the same with the energy centers. Most people's energy centers have even though they're spinning omnidirectionally all around, they tend to do that kind of with a counterclockwise overall motion as they're spinning omnidirectionally. But some people, they do it the opposite. They do it omnidirectionally, but with a kind of a tilt towards the clockwise direction. So if you're working with someone, you need to determine which way their energy center likes to go, predominantly, clockwise or counterclockwise, while it's spinning omnidirectionally. Okay?
Now, if you'd like to do it with me now, I'd like to do some exercises with you rather than just telling you about them, that we can all do, and that from these exercises, you'll strengthen your own keys and learn how to work with others for that same thing. Now we're going to start with the Z key. Now just imagine that you have a ball up here on top of your head. That's your Z key. Now it's a ball of energy. It's alive with electricity. It's alive with power. And it's spinning in this omnidirectional manner, all of different ways, but simultaneously it's going a little bit to this clockwise. Now that's what's there right now, and it's about this size, about the size that you can hold here. Now I want you to take that, put your hands on top of your head just like this. Imagine that you're holding that energy center. Imagine that that energy center is right inside of your hands, and actually you'll be able to start feeling the energy if you are sensitive to that. And now, with your will, because you are the master, take that energy center and expand it out, pull it out very large. Throw it out. Large, as large as you can reach. Up as high as that would go as well. Now you have a very large one. That's spinning the same way. Now take your hands and force it back together. Compress it back in. So it's back to that normal size. This is the very rudimentary start. Now we're going to speed up a little bit. I want you to expand it out. Contract it in. And breathe when you do that. Breathe in when you expand out. Breathe out when you contract in. That charges you up, doesn't it? Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to use your right hand. It's back to its normal size now. You're going to use your right hand and point your little front finger here at the other center. I want you to spin it first counterclockwise, clockwise, just so you get the idea of the motion here. Then forward and backward. And now, with your own energy center, without me having to tell you this, I want you to start by spinning it clockwise, which will be this direction, which will be to your left. And then on your own, start to spin. Once you've spun it clockwise, speed it up, faster and faster and faster, faster, then slow it down. And then once you've slowed it down again, then go to a different direction, like for instance forward, and spin it forward faster and faster and faster and faster, and then slow it down. Then go to the backwards direction, faster and faster and faster, and slow it down. And then perhaps diagonally, and go like that. And then like that. Slow it down with the other direction. And then end by making it go in the counterclockwise direction, rapidly, and then slow it down. And stabilize it. Put your energy from your hands, from your alpha and omega centers here, and stabilize it. You can actually feel it on top of your head, can't you? Right there. Now, the same exercise is done for all of your centers. The Ka, I'm not going to go through all of them tonight while I'm with you, we'll start with that one. But you do the same exercise. If you're feeling that you're having one particular part of your life that's not going well, for instance, maybe you're not doing well emotionally, or maybe you're not doing well mentally, maybe you're just not connecting with your higher self and you can't get that Z key to do anything psychic for you, or any number of things. Think about the root key that is responsible for that area, whose energy permeates your body and is generated from that area. And work this exercise, maybe several times a day, on that. You'll find that there will be a great regeneration and growth in that area that you need to have work on. I know that every one of us, including myself, have times that there are areas in our life that's lacking, that's not as good as we'd like it to be. Whether it's our physical health, our sexual ability, our heart center, our mental center, our psychic abilities. There's always some area that needs improvement, even for galactics. So I would challenge each of you that when you go from this meeting and you go the next week, that in addition to doing the master exercise, in addition to jumping up out of bed and standing your feet on the ground and standing up and saying, this is going to be a great day, that you'll also choose at least one area of your life that you feel is the most lacking in, that's related to one of the root keys, and work that root key in this manner every single day, at least one time during the day. And come back next week and maybe you can tell us about what's happened with you in that week. Because the results can be very fast when you do this. Now, the other thing we're going to have to talk about with the root keys is that all of the root keys are connected to each other, even though that you can take a part of one. For instance, maybe you're wishing to work with your emotional center and the heart center, and you can take a part and work on that and have benefit there. You have to understand also that all of the root keys are connected to each other. So even though you can deal with them individually, they also need to be taken together collectively. This is an important consideration because if there's a part of your body that's very, very bad out of balance, for instance, maybe you're having very great physical problems, or very great emotional problems, very great sexual problems. If there's a part of your body that's out of balance like that, to an extreme amount, then even if you're working all your other centers well, that one center that's out of balance is going to continually be working against all of the other energy centers. And so it's very important that when you're very out of balance, that you really work on that particular center. I can't stress that enough. If you have an area of your life that's very not good, that is not well, whether that's mental or your higher self abilities, or your core center and your self-esteem and your self-confidence and your self-expression abilities, your heart center, your primal urges and fears, or your past lives connections, or your will center or your womb center, if it's very out of balance in relation to the others, please, for your sake, please pay particular attention to that. Give it some energy work. You will be amazed at the change in your life in a very short period of time.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Esoteric Mystery School and you'll get notification whenever we come out with new videos. We will be coming out with many new videos of Philos' old channelings, and the very next video coming up after this one will be the question and answer period that followed Philos' talk on the root keys. Many of the questions the audience asked were related to the root keys, but some of them were completely unrelated, as the audience was free to ask any question they want and get an answer from Philos. I may also jump in occasionally and give my perspective on things. Namaste, my friends. Until next time.